The night is dark and full of terrors. Welcome back to my channel, guys. Today we have a realistic beard study, but why do I dress up like Melisandre? Why do we have this Game of Thrones theme? I'm going to explain in a second, but first, it's a little bit dark in here, so let me get rid of this little theme. Much better. I love it. So we are drawing beard today. There are so many kinds of beards out there. There are long ones, there are medium length ones, and then there are really short ones. And white beard. How do we draw white beard with graphite and charcoal pencils, which are black? So today we are going to learn all the techniques all together. Also, I have a bonus tutorial for you. I have drawn Jon Snow. I'm going to show you how I drew his beautiful beard, and also I'm going to show you how other types of beard can be drawn with graphite and charcoal pencils. If you would like to have the real-time tutorial of Jon Snow realistic portrait, please visit my Patreon website, patreon.com/ecegürler. If you like my videos and my channel, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe my channel to show your support. If you would like to get your free ebook, 10 art tips for beginners, please visit my website, ecegürler.com. If you got your pencils, if you got your eraser, then we are all set. Let's start. The very first method that I want to show you is with a gel pen, but without the pen in it. So we turn it off, it's closed, and I'm going to go on my paper and I will dent it. I'm going to do this to draw gray beard or white beard. Of course, I will show you more techniques, but this is the first technique that I wanted to show you. I am gently denting. I'm not damaging my paper, but I'm definitely damaging the tooth. After pressuring on the paper in kind of lens shapes, I'm going in with my graphite pencil, which is 7B, but you can, do with any other pencil if you want. And I am lightly shading it, so the dented areas will remain white. So this is how we have the gray hair, guys. The second method is with a wax paper and a gel pen. I have my black gel pen here. I'm putting my wax paper on my paper, and then I'm drawing some maybe curly shapes. I'm assuming this will be a curly beard, and I would have some curly gray areas on a black beard to give very realistic effect. This is a very actually good one. I'm going to take my charcoal pencil this time instead of graphite pencil, and I'm going to show you how it looks. After I lightly shade a couple of layers, you can see that those dented areas can be seen very clearly, and it gives a very nice realistic effect. But don't forget, once you blend them, those dented areas will be filled with charcoal, so they will be gone. Chopstick. Let's have this straight beard effect with my chopstick. I am gonna dent it again, but without damaging the paper, but this time I have straight strokes into my paper. Instead of curly beard, now I want to have straight beard, a realistic effect. After I dent this, I'm going to go over with my charcoal pencil again, and you will see how beautiful it looks. But for some reason, when I blended this one, actually it didn't disappear. So be careful about denting, guys, because once you dented your paper, you can't really erase it no matter what you do. Look, it looks beautiful. Very nice effect. My third one is with the short hair, short beard. You can see my 10 friends portrait here. I have very short and a little bit longer hair there. How do I draw this? How do I make this beard? Basically, if you have a very sharp pencil Or if you have mechanical pencil like this, it's much easier to make those little tiny hair details. Unfortunately, it takes a very, very long time. Now I am shading the base layer. You have to always put the base layer, the skin tone first before you put in any kind of beard, right? So I have this skin tone ready and I'm going in one by one. It takes forever, guys, doing realistic short beard. They are never regular. You don't do dots, 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 but you just look at the reference photo and you put exactly what you see. Sometimes they are irregular shapes, sometimes they're circular, sometimes they are combined somewhere, and sometimes they're very, very apart. You have to just really, really look closely to the reference photo and zoom in and draw exactly what you see. I'm not going to fill in the whole circle. You got the idea. And what if it's a little bit longer than that? Not like maybe dots, but just a little bit longer. These kind of strikes, guys, like you take your very sharp or mechanical pencil and from root to the top of the hair, you gently put in your hair. They might grow in different directions. They are never very regular. They grow on top of each other sometimes. So it's very, very important to give this realistic effect by drawing in different directions, different lengths, sometimes whatever the reference photo is telling you. Right now I'm putting in all these little short hairs there with my graphite pencil, and even I will try my charcoal pencil now and to give the darker tones. One more thing, that to give realistic effect, you also have to blend it so that it looks really, really realistic. My next method, guys, I have, let's say, a very dark beard base, and I'm putting all my dark hair there, which are medium length. I am blending it to give a realistic effect. I have two eraser pencils. These are very good. One of them is very thin and one of them is a little bit thicker. With the thicker one, I'm going in and making these irregular wavy shapes to give this highlights. That gives much more realistic effect to your beard. And then, of course, after this, I will go back in with my pencil. I'm gonna draw even more hair, and then I will try to blend them to give them a final realistic look. As a final step, I am going in with my tiny eraser pencil and I'm adding my final touches. There was a mistake, guys. I already did these two, but for some reason my camera stopped recording, so I'm gonna redo them again for you. What did I do for the sixth method is basically I had my dark background for the beard and I go in with my eraser pencil and I make the highlights just like I did in the previous one. I am putting maybe like curly ones, and I have gel pen, white gel pen. I'm going over all those highlights with my white gel pen. I'm not necessarily following my eraser marks, but I can, of course, I might if I want to highlight them. So this would give more realistic effect if they have white and black hair mixed, or some gray hair and black hair mixed. One thing about gel pen, guys, though, you can't erase them obviously, so you have to be really careful about it. And when you try to blend it, it's going to have this weird gray color instead of whitish gray. And finally, I want to show you in general how you draw realistic beard. What are the steps? So you have the skin basic layer, so skin color at the bottom, and then you go with your sharp pencil, which is very, very important, and you do implant one by one those hairs in the growth direction. You always look at your reference photo. As you can see, I'm not drawing identical hair. They're all growing in different directions, so I am looking at my reference photo and I'm adding all those hair. And then I go in and blend, and I add the second layer. You can add third layer, fourth layer, whatever is realistic, more realistic for you. Then I go in with my eraser pencil and I give all those highlights in different directions. Again, I'm not following any kind of hair direction necessarily. I'm just going in with my erasers and making those highlights. And of course, after I do this, I blend one more time so that it looks much more realistic. And the seventh method, I want to add one more thing, guys. I have this white charcoal pencil. They are not as strong as the gel pen, but they are erasable, so that gives you some kind of leverage. You can always put those highlights in just where you erased your paper. And if you can see the second picture, I changed something in the second circle. I tried to blend in everything. The dents that I made with my gel pen were completely gone, whereas my chopstick dents were still there even though I blended them. It's interesting to know. Finally, I am blending everything very well. I'm blending there too, to show you how the white charcoal looks when you blend them. Okay guys, this is it. Now let me show you Jon Snow beard. How did I draw his beautiful beard with using all these methods? Okay, I will explain the beard separately, but I wanted to tell you this took me almost 5 hours, 5.5 hours, I think. I start with the eyes, and I used different shades of graphite pencil here, maybe 3 of them, and I used medium and soft charcoal pencils. I want to give you a tip about the eyes, guys. Make sure that your sketch is very accurate with the eyes. You have every line, because there are so many lines in the eyes. If you don't differentiate those eyelash lines or the water lines or the eyelid lines, then when you start drawing, as your sketch fades away, you might confuse which one is which. And as you can see in the beard, I dented with my empty gel pen first, and then I blended, and then I used my charcoal pencil to add all those medium length beard one by one. So the denting worked fine, because in the even reference photos, you can see it's not completely black, it's not that dark. There are some kind of whiter areas, whiter highlights. And I use my also eraser on the beard, so you can see, especially on the right now, right below his ear, you can see that beard was made with the eraser, with the help of eraser. The fur is actually similar to beard mentality wise, but what I added was always going in with the darkest shades first, and then I was putting with my eraser some highlights. It helped a lot. As you can see, eraser effects gives a lot of realistic effect. And with the hair, I put in the darkest shades first, and then I went in again after I blend. As you can see, I blend as I go, and I try to not to touch those areas that has snow on it, because it's actually snowing in the original photo. I'm keeping those darker areas as dark, lighter areas light, and I'm adding highlights with my eraser pencil. I'm adding all those details, the scar, and then the forehead, of course, has some wrinkles. And I'm adding the eye shadow with my brush, with the help of my brush. I'm adding the final details of the lips and the ear. And the background, I used a charcoal block to do the background because it's pretty dark and it's a very large area, so it was too much for a pencil, so I highly recommend it. If you would like your free ebook 10 art tips for beginners, please don't forget to visit my website ecegürler.com. If you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you in my next video.